It's been a little over 2 years since I got my first Rolex, the Rolex Air-King 126-900. It remains one of my most worn watches in my collection, and it's been through a lot with me. It's not everyone's first choice when it comes to a Rolex, and it's not everyone's cup of tea when it comes to watch designs in general. Its style is unorthodox, rather strange, and quite quirky. It's different to what a Rolex is usually perceived as, but it's the watch that got me interested in the brand in the first place, and after 2 years of ownership, it's still my favorite watch in their lineup. Now, a lot of people will dismiss the Air King on its aesthetics and lack of popularity, which is completely fine. The dial can be a little weird for most, and it's not the most efficient time-telling instrument, thanks to its numeral layout, but if you're looking for something unique and interesting, this watch has a lot going for it, especially compared to Rolex's other offerings. See, the Air King is individual. It's not like the others. It takes a different approach to its composition, and at the time of this video, it has no other configuration, and that's what I like about it. It's a watch that embraces what it is, and when I think about the variety of watches we have today and the many options available, it's a breath of fresh air. It takes out the uncertainty of choosing the right configuration or the right one, and you don't have to worry about different dial colors or bracelet offerings. It's simply a matter of like it or not, and for me, I like it a lot. I like how it's a watch I can just pick up and go without really worrying about. Sure, it's far from affordable, but there's this approachable sensation I get when it comes to the Air King, which is a contrast to how I usually feel towards Rolex. The feeling is similar to that of my many Seikos, Zin 356 and Khaki Field Mechanical, and it's probably due to its predominantly brushed finish and playful dial. To put it simply, it's the most non-Rolex Rolex, yet it incorporates so much of what Rolex is, a robust, extremely well-built watch with tight tolerances in its construction and finish. To me, it's one of those watches that just gets better with wear and seems so natural to take everywhere. I like that it doesn't look like a normal watch, and even though its dial is unconventional, I've found it to be handy in some situations when timing things in seconds with quick glances or 5-minute intervals. It's undoubtedly a reliable watch with great accuracy, but you will be paying a lot for it. However, if we look at the prices of Rolex's other offerings, it's one of their most affordable, and if we look at watches from other brands, it can be difficult to find an Air King alternative given how different the watch is. Sure, there are plenty of watches out there with numerals and 5-minute scales, but the Air King has a certain look to it, with its larger numeral print and mix of 5 and 3 multiples on the dial. I like that it's under the radar. Not everyone will know what it is, and that makes it a great everyday piece. It's not over the top when it comes to its use of color either, utilizing limited but effective additions of yellow and my favorite color, green. Even among other watch brands, having a colored logo is unusual, but I think it works wonderfully here against the black lacquered dial and matches well with the green seconds hand. Despite how weird the Air King may be, it's the only Rolex that uses its company colors in the logo. Maybe a last-ditch effort to flaunt its Rolex name so you know what you're looking at, or maybe a unique touch granted to a unique timepiece. It's also the only Rolex with this crown guard case and functionless bezel combination, giving it a simple and sporty look. It has polished slab sides which give it a bulky look, and its lug width is a little strange at 21mm, making it an awkward dimension for straps. It does, however, slim down the profile of the case to give it a sleeker look with the thinner lugs, making the watch appear more streamlined and tapers into the bracelet nicely. Here, we're getting the fancy oyster bracelet with an easy link extension, and it's a great match with the brushed finishing as it works in combination with the case to provide a neutral base which balances out the quirky dial. Now, there is a bit of an issue though. The slab sides make the watch rather flat with little to no curvature, so there will be gaps for some when it's on the wrist. The male end links on the oyster bracelet don't help either, as they effectively extend the lug to lug, making the first link articulate beyond the lugs, which is a shame for those with smaller wrists as there is no other size alternative. I will say when it's on the wrist, it doesn't feel as bad as it fits. The oyster links contour well enough for a comfortable wear, and its dramatic taper helps to slim down the size of the clasp. It's relatively thin, allowing it to slide under the cuff, and if you've ever tried on or worn a Submariner or GMT Master 2, it has a similar feel to those, albeit lighter and leaner, but does have the same tendency to leave imprints with its sharp case edges. When I think about Rolex as a brand and the watches they offer, the Air-King never really crosses my mind. It's only when I open my watch box and pick it up that I'm reminded it's part of the Rolex family. I'm sure many of us instantly think of the Submariner, Datejust, Daytona, or even the Explorer before we even think about the Air-King, and that's exactly what happened to me. Rolex was always on my radar like most others, but when I found out about the Air-King, that's when I really got interested in the brand. It was the first Rolex that really grabbed my attention, and it was so different to what they normally offer. The Air-King feels like an experimental watch when it comes to Rolex. It pushes the boundaries of their design language, and given that it's already known as the ugly duckling, it makes for the perfect format for testing the waters. In fact, the Air-King line has seen many iterations over the years, but in recent times, it seems to have found its identity. Rolex stood firm with its updates from the previous generation, essentially improving on the predecessor. But who knows what could happen in the future, especially given their track record with the Air-King lineage. We could see this iteration vanish, instantly making it a collectible, or it could stay and form the foundations for future Air-Kings to build upon. Either way, I think this Air-King will be an important piece in Rolex's history due to its uniqueness and how divisive it is in the watch community. Would I recommend the Air-King to others? Absolutely, but only if you like the watch in the first place. It's not one of those highly sought after investment pieces, and you can probably get it from a Rolex authorized dealer fairly easily like I did, so you don't have to be worried about playing the Rolex game. Most people would recommend something else as a first Rolex option, something along the lines of an Oyster Perpetual or Datejust. Both safe and great options, but rather common choices. Now, that's not to say they're bad watches by any means, as they're recommended for a reason. I just feel like they don't have as much character as the Air-King does. It's certainly an interesting watch, but if you're not a fan of the dial, then I'd stay away from it. If you like the watch, but you're on the fence, consider what you already have in your collection and what it's contending with. Chances are, it will be a unique addition to your rotation. Let me know if you own an Air-King and share your thoughts in the comments. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more watch content. I'll see you in the next one.